If you're a guy over the age of 35 who is successful within your career, your business, maybe you're an entrepreneur, but your body does not reflect that same success, I'm going to tell you exactly why that is in the next 5 minutes. I work with a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, guys that have got extreme success when it comes to the bank balance, material things that they have within their life, or the progress that they've seen within the business that they've got. But there's a common theme amongst all of these guys when it comes down to their health, the relationship they have with their physique, with their health when they look in the mirror. Now let me paint the picture. You are successful with your business. You have staff that you manage. You make new hires every single day. You make huge decisions that can generate hundreds of thousands of pounds for your company or the company that you operate with. You're dealing with problems that people bring to you every day, customers, clients, staff. You've got KPIs that you work to every single week, and you're successful in that. That's not the area that you struggle with. You know that you're a successful person. But when it comes to your body, there is nothing that sticks. And I know that you have tried, you have made effort. You've tried to start again every single Monday. You've tried the juices, you've tried the classes, you've tried the in-person PT, but nothing has actually got you in the shape that you want to get to and stick with that for the rest of your life. And because of that, you feel stuck. You feel like despite achieving so much professionally, when it comes to your physique, there's that limiting belief there of what you're actually capable of achieving. Now, the good thing is, there is no limit to what you can achieve with your own body and your own physique. So let's paint the picture of the 3 things that you're struggling with and how you need to fix them if you want to achieve the heights that you want to get to when it comes to your own health, physique, and body. Number 1 is that you have zero structure when it comes to your own health, working out. Yeah, you have structure when it comes to your business or your career. You clock in, you know exactly the task that you need to do, you know the deadlines that you've got to hit. But when it comes to yourself, everything is very scattered. And it's not because you're not making effort, because you are. Despite having limited time, you are still putting the yards in. But because it's been put in a way where you can't quite predict what the outcome's going to be, there's no real structure to it, you simply fall off because it doesn't work. Let me paint the picture. You probably go to a gym, quite a high-end gym, probably invested a good bit of money into it, maybe signed up for 6 months or 12 months. It's got the sauna, it's got the pool, it's got the nice kit. But when you go in there, you don't have a clue what you are doing. You hop from machine to machine, hoping that it's going to work, find that nothing works, and then make a beeline for the cardio kit. And you end up spending 30 minutes on the cardio machine to leave the gym feeling that you've accomplished something. But the physique doesn't change. You still have that belly fat that you absolutely hate. And the reason why you have that belly fat is because you're guessing the calories that you're consuming. You are fueling your body on coffees to get through the day, lattes there, cappuccinos there. You're skipping breakfast in the morning, but then you're replacing that with a croissant on the way to work or some form of greasy food that doesn't really serve you any purpose. And even if you are making the effort to try and eat healthy, you're trying to pick up healthier sources, your granola, your fruit, you still don't know the calories that you're consuming. Now think about it with business. That's like trying to make a huge decision with your business that's going to completely change the trajectory of it without actually having any data to go off of to give you confidence in the decisions to predict what the outcome's going to be. That's how you're running your body right now. And when it comes to calories, it's just complete guesswork. And it's either from a lack of knowing what is the right thing to do or from a lack of actually doing it. Now, the business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals that I work with, they follow a repeatable system, which is actually very, very easy to follow if it's set up in the right way. For example, I have a client, remains undisclosed, who runs an 8-figure business. When he first arrived to me, his original goal was to get to 75 kg. And this was something that was a huge goal. And he thought that in order to achieve that, he had to cut out so many things from his life. Wines, social occasions, the food that he liked, nice restaurants. The reality is we included all of them inside our system. He still has red wine. He's went to conference meetings and overindulged in alcohol and the nice food that's there. But because we have the clarity, he came in at 86 kg, sits at 75 kg after just 5 months. Didn't give anything up, didn't sacrifice massive things, didn't work harder, yet achieved his 12-month goal in 5 months. Number 2 is a good trait, but when it comes to your physique is why you're falling off. And it's having this all or nothing mentality. Now, when it comes to your business, you have accepted that you're going to do 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15-hour days. You've accepted that you need to be all in on that venture to make it a success. But it doesn't have to be the case when it comes to your health and your body and your physique. Because what happens is you start something that is so unsustainable that you don't sustain it. And different to business, you can get there and see the results from brute force and then kick your feet up once you've got the results. The body doesn't work that way. We need to operate ourselves in a much smarter manner. What's happening right now is you start strong on a Monday. You maybe go to the class, you hit the gym, you watch the motivational podcast, but by the time Thursday or Friday comes around, you're burnt out. And ultimately, you realize that you can't stick to that setup. And then you start to have the negative connotations. You feel like a failure because you're so used to seeing success that because you haven't stuck to it with your physique, you feel like a failure. And you're not. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're a failure. But it's because you're inconsistent. You're not following the right strategy. You're not following the right structure that puts that effort to the correct areas. And when you start to realize that it's not about making more effort, but about being more efficient and effective with the effort you make, you're going to realize that it's actually very easy to get into shape whilst you're running a business and a family at the same time. Remember, the goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. Get the right things in place and be consistent at them. That's what's going to give you the higher yielding sustainable results. Number 3 is you don't have accountability. Now, even if you are a guy who owns your own business and you don't have anyone operating above you, you still have forms of accountability in there. If you are generating a service-based business, you still have clients that you need to serve. They give you the accountability to make sure that you do your work to a high standard, that you match deadlines, that you hit KPIs and targets that needs to be set. If you're a product-based business, the owner of a product-based business, you have accountability there to make sure that the product arrives at your customers on time with a great manner. You get good feedback, you get good results. When it comes to your physique, who is holding you accountable? Because when you slip up and you maybe have that croissant and then it spirals and your day goes to shit when it comes to your diet, no one's there to tell you off. You don't have any feedback, and as a result, over time, you start to then shift your focus away from your physique because you're not seeing results, and you channel it in other areas to then hate how your physique looks, go back to the start, that Monday motivation, and repeat. You found yourself in a negative feedback loop because you don't have any accountability or structure to follow the right thing. When you do have accountability, that's when things start to change for you. See, I work with guys that are 7, 8-figure business owners, and they realize the importance of having accountability with themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Connor and I've been with Mark and the team now for 18 weeks. Already within this short period of time, I'm 11 kilos down.
Since joining, in 3.5 months, I've lost 10 to 15 kilos.
I'm Jake, 61 years old. Been with Kane coaching 7 or 8 weeks. Currently lost around 6.5 kilos.
My name is Johnny. Since I started, I've lost about 5 kilograms.
Originally, when I joined Kane Coaching, I weighed 65 kilograms until I eventually made up to 78 kilograms.
I've been with Kane Coaching since January. So far, I've lost 9 kilos.
Because the crossover impact onto your business, knowing that you've got the physique and the health side taken care of and you've externalized that, you've offset that thought process, then it gives you more energy to give back into your business. Both physical energy but also brain capacity. And when you have that accountability in place, everything starts to improve. Picture this, your best member of staff. Imagine giving that person no KPIs, no check-ins, no performance reviews, no clear goal, no clear tangible result, no clear outcome for them. What are they going to do? Even your best employees would take their foot off the gas to a large extent. So when it happens to yourself, you're doing the same thing. Now, all of these problems is exactly why I created my peak performance program, to help guys achieve peak performance, not just within their business, but within their physique, to have a synergy across family life, across personal life, physical life, and professional life. Now, if you feel like this video has spoke directly to you, you now have a decision to make. You can either draw a line in the sand, get the right things in place, swallow the ego, and start to see the improvements within your health and physique in a way that will allow you to have that repeatable success framework in place. Or you can continue going the way that you're going, Nothing will change, and the next 5 years when it comes to your health and fitness will be much like the last 5 years. If you are the former, I will leave a link down below in my bio where if you want to start having the right things in place, go ahead and book in a one-to-one call with me. What we'll do on this call is essentially go through where you're currently at, identify the gaps that you have, go over a game plan to see if we're the right fit. If we're not, no problem at all. You'll have some low-hanging fruits and a different perspective that you can start to implement. And if you are, then I can guarantee you that your health, your fitness and your physique is going to start to change for the better.